Hello, my name is Joseph Williams. I'm a historian, a translator and an editor based in Coimbra in Portugal, where I'm currently pursuing a PhD in contemporary history here at the University of Coimbra. I'm making this video to express my firm excitement and enthusiasm for applying for the research assistant position at UniversalGiving. In response to the questions you specified, I'm drawn to this particular role because of how it connects and combines two things which I'm deeply passionate about, and one of those is rigorous, meticulous research, which has always been a real calling of mine, something I've always deeply valued, and married with impact, because I like to put knowledge into practice. I like to see the practical applications of knowledge rather than just seeing knowledge as purely academic. I like to apply research and the knowledge that I gain from doing research. So yeah, I wanted to contribute to Universal Giving by, contributing knowledge, by helping to structure and understand data, make sense of data, so that Universal Giving's clients, their partners, can then put that knowledge into practice and become more effective and more efficient in how they use stakeholders' resources to carry out field work. Why I'm so interested in Universal Giving is primarily I'm very drawn to the model you have around vetting all of the NGOs you support, and how you have very strict conditions around how funds are used, that 100% of the donations that donors make go straight to the NGO. There's a real transparency there, and there's a real efficiency in the use of resources, which is something I'm passionate about in charity and NGO work, in my work in NGOs, with Translators Without Borders, with Mayan families in Guatemala. I've always been very, very keen to ascertain how funds are being used, how resources are being used for field work, rather than marketing, promotion, and all that other more frivolous stuff. So Universal Giving, it kind of combines transparency, global reach. I like how it's not just focused on one specific area, one specific sector. There's a real kind of transnational, global, comprehensive approach to Universal Giving's work, which really resonates with me. And then Universal Giving, and what makes it unique is, like I said, the quality vetting model I was very taken with. I think that's something that other NGOs and other funding platforms should really adopt, really kind of try and emulate. But also, Universal Giving isn't just a funding platform. It kind of connects, it connects people, it connects NGOs, and it connects donors, it connects volunteers, it combines fundraising with volunteering, giving people the opportunity to volunteer their time or to make a donation, allowing people to kind of choose how they can best support an NGO whose values resonate with them, by providing vetted options, aligning research, and facilitating contributions from across the globe for a range of causes. Then I feel that I'm uniquely placed to be effective in this role because of a lot of reasons, really. I've always been someone who's driven primarily by the pursuit and obtention of knowledge. Being driven to learn is kind of my highest order value in this world, and it's what's always motivated me and always animated me, is seeking to learn and seeking to deepen in my understanding. And then, as I said, also to translate that knowledge into action, because for me, although the pursuit of knowledge is a kind of higher order value and end in of itself, it's also subordinated sometimes to action. It should inform decision making. So that's something that just really resonates and speaks to me, and it's something that I would find it very easy to get motivated and excited to do on a daily basis, day in, day out. The prospect of learning something new, finding out something and thinking about how that information can then be applied to improve processes and to make work more effective. There's my experience working in the NGO sector with Mayan families in Guatemala, with Translators Without Borders remotely as a project manager. There's my multilingual background, my Spanish, my Portuguese, combined with my native English, of course. There's my academic research background, the PhD research that I do, the academic publications which I produce, which I publish, the research I do with research teams based here in Portugal. It's all, this role really kind of combines, it's like a kind of Venn diagram for me, that kind of, it combines my passions and it sits right at the kind of intersection of everything that I'm passionate about and everything that I feel is meaningful and kind of motivates me. And moving on to the question then about a time when I was upset at work with a co-worker, one situation which comes to mind is when I was working as an editor on a publishing project, and it was a co-translation, and my co-translator on this project was constantly missing deadlines, which was then impacting me negatively because it was making it more difficult for me to do my section of the job. It was kind of procedural. My being able to do my job depended on my co-translator delivering their contributions on time. So that caused stress and delays for me and for other people involved in the process. So I didn't know this co-translator personally outside of the project, but I had their contact info, so I reached out to them and spoke to them privately, and I expressed the impact that their delays were having on my ability to do my work effectively. But I wanted to be solutions focused rather than simply kind of finding blame and criticizing. So I wanted to find out if there was some real reason, some genuine reason that this person was not delivering their translations on time. And it turned out that there were some issues in that person's personal life, some obstacles that they were facing which were getting in the way. And it was valid. It was not it didn't make my job any easier, but it was valid, and I tried to be understanding and sympathetic towards that. So I offered to kind of renegotiate the kind of delivery schedules and kind of asked if we could also have greater communication, if we could kind of share more updates on progress and so on, so at least I would know if there was going to be any delays in the projects and so on and so on. And we agreed to check in more frequently and share progress updates and so on, and things did improve. That conversation, that seemed to kind of have a positive impact on our working relationship more generally, and that person continued having some of those same difficulties in their personal life, but they seemed to feel a little bit more empowered, let's say, to acknowledge that, to express that, and to communicate that in a way which allowed me to kind of adjust and adapt to any potential delays. And I think we both found that kind of gesture, there was a certain, it kind of represented something, that there was some, we were valuing each other's time and we were trying to communicate and work together and find a solution. And once we both kind of demonstrated that intent, that willingness to try and, to find a way of communicating and a solution to this, the working relationship did improve. And there were still some delays, but there were actually fewer delays, and these delays were communicated with greater anticipation. So the workflow did improve, and I found myself valuing that working relationship more than I had done previously. Okay, so that answers all of your questions. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me speak and to answer your questions, and it was a pleasure to have this opportunity. Thank you very much.